With me now is Evan Siegfried, political commentator and Republican strategist. Hi, Evan. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Renee.
This ongoing Epstein file controversy seems to be a real thorn in Trump's side. What do you make of his recent comments?
It's not just a thorn, it's a huge problem. This Epstein controversy came to the fore because Donald Trump and his team released or said there was no Epstein list and released the details on his suicide over the 4th of July holiday weekend, which is a time for strategically, be it political, business, or any other type of news. If you want to go out and bury it, you do it over a holiday weekend when most people aren't paying attention. Except the MAGA base came back from their holiday weekend and said, what is going on here? There's something really wrong. At the end of the day, you have to remember that Donald Trump, a very large portion of his base, has believed for a long time the argument that Trump has made that these global elites and these powers that be that control Washington on both sides of the aisle have worked against people and have been involved in these secret cabals, not necessarily in the Epstein QAnon level conspiracy theories of this global pedophile sex trafficking ring, but that there have been people working against them. And you've seen even Donald Trump Jr. as late as last year at this time campaigning, saying, when we're back in the White House, we're going to release the Epstein files and hold people accountable. Now, all of a sudden, it's, the Democrats made up the Epstein files. There's nothing to see here. And I don't think the MAGA base is buying it because it was a central tenet to one of their many big core beliefs.
But at the same time, we just played that clip there of Trump saying that Attorney General Pam Bondi should release any credible information on Epstein. So how likely is that to happen, do you think?
You're going to get bits and pieces dribbled out here. Last week they released the video or the security camera video from the Metropolitan Detention Center here in New York, where Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. And it showed just outside of Epstein's cell. However, Wired magazine reported overnight that they looked at that video and found that there was a 3-minute gap that was mysteriously deleted. They looked at the metadata and said it wasn't some technical glitch. It was edited in May of this year. I don't know if that is true, but that's a pretty damning accusation that is causing more and more people like Steve Bannon to come out and say this is a problem. Megyn Kelly, another far-right media figure, she has said this is a problem. And I think more and more people in the MAGA base are saying, wait a second, we were told there was a huge problem here and that there is a huge conspiracy going on, and now we're told to look the other way. And it doesn't add up.
Trump is hitting back against this so hard. Is that a sign that perhaps where there's smoke, there's fire?
Well, I think Donald Trump and his aides recognize that this is a problem. This story is going on now for more than 10 days, and it shows no signs of letting up. And the more Donald Trump speaks about it, the more gasoline he throws onto the fire. What really Donald Trump and his team need to do is to realize that they have to put everything they can out there. Sunshine is the best disinfectant. His base already knows he had a years-long relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Democrats pushed it left and right for the past 10 years, saying he and Jeffrey Epstein are in all these photos together. Look at these quotes. And his base said, okay, whatever. And I think Donald Trump really needs to go out there and say, look, yes, I had a relationship with him, but it didn't extend past any more than this. And if they get the information out there, including stuff that might not be so flattering or embarrassing, they do it now, they take their lumps, and it doesn't hurt them in the long term. It'll be short-term pain for long-term gain. Until then, they run the very serious political risk of turning off just a few hundred or a few thousand MAGA hardcore supporters in different congressional districts that may be swing districts in next November. And remember, the House of Representatives, the Republicans have a razor-thin majority, and 1 or 2 seats can change everything. And all of a sudden, Donald Trump and his team are facing Democratic-led majority congressional investigations, and the final 2 years of the Trump presidency will be a living hell for all of them.
All right, Evan, thank you very much for this. Good to talk to you today. That is Evan Siegfried, a political commentator and Republican strategist.